Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. Today I have another Project Pan update for you. We are nearing the 6-month mark, I believe. So I started this series about 5 or 6 months ago now. I have made a playlist. I've only got 2 other videos, but I do have a playlist. So if you did want to watch my first and second installment of my Project Pan, then I will have that linked for you. I wanted to switch up the format of this one a little bit. I don't know, I didn't just want to sit down and talk through the progress. I wanted to actually apply them to my face because I realised I haven't done that yet. So I did apply the products so you can see them in action, and I also included some other products that I have nearly finished or I've hit pan on if they are panable products. So I really hope that you enjoy, and if you do, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And if you want to see my Project Pan update, then just keep watching. So a primer that's not in my Project Pan, but I did want to include it as it's one I've used quite a lot of. It's the NYX Plump Right Back Serum Primer. This is a really nice one. I used it all the time in the spring and summer because it gives your skin a nice dose of hydration, but it leaves it feeling a little bit tacky. So it grips onto your foundation, concealer, you know, anything you put on top really well. So I found this one to be really beneficial, really effective in the spring and summer when it was warmer, just to kind of keep my makeup on all day. So you can kind of see how much they've used there. I do really enjoy NYX primers. I think that they are really good for the money. They have quite a lot of different formulations as well. So this does go on clear, it's not tinted, it won't add any type of glow to the skin, but it will just make your complexion look a bit juicier. It does have that sticky texture as well. So for my foundation, I'm going to go in with my Glossier Skin Tint. This is in my Project Pan. I haven't used it as much as I would have liked, but it's just because I haven't been reaching for a lot of base products at the moment. So I just squeeze it onto my hand and then apply it straight to my skin. I use my fingers because it is so lightweight and lotiony that I don't really feel like you necessarily need to use a brush or a sponge. It blends really seamlessly because it's so sheer and basically just like a moisturizer. It's quite a fluid, liquidy consistency, as you would have seen. So every time I use it, the actual pigment just gets all around the bottle. I can't actually tell like how much I've used, but I think I may be kind of around here. So about a third of the way through. I'd really like to be beyond the halfway point in like a couple of months, I think. I think if I just keep reminding myself to use it, I think we can get there. I feel like I've made really good progress with my Project Pan concealer. So this is the RMS and Cover Up, and I think I've made quite a big dent in this actually. The pan definitely seems like it's bigger. For me, this works really nicely as an under eye concealer. It also works well just dotted around the skin if you have any redness or blemishes. It's a good multi-purpose concealer, which does make it a bit easier to use up as well. Let me know if you enjoy this format of a Project Pan a little bit better than just kind of talking through the products. I fear that these videos can get a little bit repetitive, especially if I've not made a ton of progress on some of the products. So I thought that maybe just switching things up today, I don't know, might be a bit more interesting, and also to show you some other products I have in my collection that I've maybe hit pan on or that I'm super close to using up. So for my powder, I'm obviously using my Bite Beauty Change Maker. I feel like I'm getting a tiny dip, but I don't know if we're any closer to actually hitting pan. But I feel like I've got a slight dip going in the middle. So that's progress for me. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in the cutaway. It's quite hard to show progress when you haven't got like a visible pan that's growing, but hopefully you can take my word for it. Annoyingly, you can't buy this powder anymore. That is the main reason why it's in my Project Pan, and I do feature it in quite a lot of videos, again just because I'm trying to use it up, but unfortunately you can't get hold of Bite Beauty anymore. You might be able to find this on sale somewhere at like a TK Maxx, or what's the equivalent in the US, like a TJ Maxx or something like that. They might have a few of these knocking about, but Unfortunately, it's not a powder that's readily available anymore. Bronzer and highlight, and again, I feel like I've made quite a bit of progress perhaps with the bronzer. I'm gonna have to look back after this video or when I'm editing. I normally do like a side by side, so I have to see how much I have actually used, but I feel like the bronzer pan is growing. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. Oh, just dropped it on the floor. Okay, we're good. So I'm just gonna use the bronzer side. I've been using it with just a big fluffy brush. Really getting that product on there. And applying it to the cheeks. This is more of a neutral toned bronzer, definitely more cool toned than the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. So for me, when I'm a bit paler, which I am at the moment, I find that the tone works really nicely. I will be sad when this is finished because it's a very expensive product and not one that I will be probably running out and repurchasing straight away. Though this is one of my favorite makeup products that I own. And it was, I think, the first or the second Charlotte Tilbury item that I ever purchased. It's just so expensive. And there are so many other bronzers that I want to try, so I will be sad to see this one go, but I'm also happy that I'm actually getting the use out of it. So I will just apply the highlight as well when I'm here. I just take a Duo Fiber brush. This is a MAC, I think it's the 118, I think. And again, I just kind of go all in the pan and apply this to the top of my cheekbones. God, this is so stunning. Charlotte Tilbury knows how to make a good highlight. I will say that. Obviously we are going to be putting blush on as well. I haven't forgotten. It just makes your skin look super fresh, glowy, luminous, but it's not a chunky highlight. It's not a super metallic strobe. It's really just like a nice candlelit effect. I really do adore this formula. And somehow I've used more of the highlight than I have the bronzer. Not quite sure how I've managed to do that, but yeah, happy with the progress on that. So for blush, we have the Frat Boy blush by the BALM. This is like not going anywhere. Yeah, this is a really difficult one to pan. It's very pigmented. You don't need a lot. Therefore, I'm not going through this quickly at all. It is a really nice shade. And in the autumn and winter, it's more kind of like neutral, like cool toned pink is a shade that I reach for a lot more this time of year. So I don't know. I think we'll see where we're at in like December, January, and then I might switch this out for something else because I don't know. It's just, you know, it's not really going anywhere with it. But I will persevere. I won't give up just yet. I don't see the BALM as often as I used to, so I don't know if they're slowly kind of, I don't know, getting rid of some products, potentially disappearing. I'm not 100% sure, but if you can still get hold of this, I mean, it's a really lovely color. And if you're not like me and you don't cycle through 10, 20 blushes, then I think that this is a really nice, very kind of simple everyday blush. It's not got a ton of shimmer in there, but it's not an entirely matte formula. It will give your cheeks a nice sheen. Obviously I've got highlight on, so it's kind of like distorting the finish a little bit, but it is a really nice formula. So two brow products that are almost out, definitely will probably end up in my next empties, I would imagine. So the first one is the Glossier Brow Flick. I've had this for a very long time and it's still going. I mean, there's still pigment coming out of the end. It's not completely dried up, so quite impressed with this, though I'm not sure how much longer realistically I'm gonna get out of it. And then the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This dried up quite quickly actually, even though it's super affordable. And when I first got it, I raved about it because it's a really good, it's like tinted brow gel, adds a bit of volume, kind of a nice feathery effect, but it dried up very quickly. So that's one thing to say. But yes, I'm gonna use these two in my brows. Okay, so now I'm dipping into my Chanel Cream eyeshadow in Patine Bronze. I feel like maybe the pan has got a tiny bit bigger, not by loads. We still have quite a long way to go, but I am really trying to make a conscious effort to use this as much as I can, even if it's just a super sheer layer across the lid. I'm trying to use it most days, at least those days that I'm wearing makeup. I do have a couple of powder eyeshadows as well that I wanted to share. A little bit of a throwback. But there are 2 eyeshadows, powder eyeshadows that I have in my collection that I do have pan on. One of them is very, very significant. The other one, not so much, but still I feel like for a powder eyeshadow it's quite good going. So I will share those and maybe I'll apply one today. So it's just a super quick sheer wash of the Chanel Patine Bronze. Really want this to be gone by the end of the year because I just don't want it to dry up, and I feel like in my head January is like the expiration date for that one, so I want to make sure that I've used as much of it as I possibly can before the end of the year. Then, as I mentioned, I have a couple of powder eyeshadows. This is a MAC eyeshadow palette, which I was trying to fill many years ago. I mean, you can see I maybe got like halfway, but I would love to finish this palette off. Maybe I'll do that in a video like next year or something. They have some incredible shades to choose from, but I think the market just got oversaturated. We're spoiled for choice now when it comes to eyeshadows, eyeshadow palettes especially, and so I think MAC kind of fell by the wayside. But I used this palette for a long time and as you can see they are a bit battered. So I have this shade here in the corner. So this one is All That Glitters, I think, and there's like a tiny rim around the pan. That one was probably like one of my favourite eyeshadows for quite a long time. I then have this one here. I think this is Satin Taupe. I have to double check, but I think it's Satin Taupe. Or is it Sable? I think it might actually be Sable. Again, I'll have to double check. I'll have it on the screen, which is the correct one. But now I'm thinking, I think it was Sable because I definitely got that one first, maybe at the same time as All That Glitters, so that would make sense. But yeah, really stunning shade. I think I'm going to use this one, Satin Taupe / Sable, on my outer corner, just to give a little bit more depth to the look. I mean, the shadows still perform, for me anyway. Oh, I really love this kind of like satin, like soft metallic. I think they are just beautiful, beautiful eyeshadows. Not too intense, but they do just give a really nice sheen. I definitely need to play with these eyeshadows a bit more. I'm gonna take a little bit of that on my lower lash line. I would love to see some more love given to MAC eyeshadows, to be honest, but again, I know that it's not really new. It's probably not what's going to get you the most amount of views on YouTube these days, but they are really good quality. I love the customizable aspect, and yeah, I would love to see more people putting out their old MAC eyeshadows. So I'm just going to take a bit of mascara. So I'm just going to use my HEIMISH Smudge Proof Mascara, and then we will move on to lips. Kept the mascara application quite light. I don't want a heavy eye look, and I feel like the addition of the MAC eyeshadow made it a bit smokier, so I'm gonna keep the lashes quite light today. So the lip liner that's in my project pan is this one from Essence. This is in First Love. I think this has had, oh, it probably needs another sharpen actually. So I'll do that after this video, and then I will take the like comparison photo. Is that cheating? I don't know. But yes, this is First Love, a really nice creamy liner formula, super, super affordable. And if you can get this on sale, you can literally get them for like £1 or £2. So pretty good deal if you ask me. This isn't the shade I would really reach for in the autumn. I prefer something a bit more warm, a bit more neutral. Whereas this is quite a cool toned pink, so hopefully I can still bring myself to use it over the next few months. Otherwise, I am happy with the progress I've made thus far. I don't have a lipstick or gloss in my project pan at the moment. I'm thinking maybe in December or January I will switch out a few of the products, and I am definitely thinking of including at least one lipstick, because I think I can definitely get a lot more use out of the lipsticks I have. But one that I have nearly used up and has been a go-to for me, this is the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm in Fast Lane. This is a really good match with this particular lip liner, because it's a bit more on the pinky side. These are really lightweight, moisturising. Don't give your lips a ton of colour, but they feel really comfortable and they give your lips a nice kind of sheen. So yeah, I really like these. Quite an easy product to use up because it is that moisturising, creamy, tinted lip balm. So we do tend to run through these quite quickly. So that is a full face using some of my Project Pan items. I will aim to do another update maybe in like November, December as we come to the end of the year, and then maybe December, January time. I will do a bit of a switch up and add some products in, potentially take some products out. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.